Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following program's views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or StylesRebelRadio.com.
Oi, bruv. Welcome into Behind Enemy Lines, bruv. Right here on WSRR Radio, your nationally local radio station playing your local bands on a national stage, bruv. Absolutely mental here on WSRR Radio. I'm Lucas D'Orazio, joined as always by Don Ferro, and I'm coming fresh off of my European vacation, and that's why I'm talking like a proper chap. And Dom, we're back here. We're recording on May 22nd, Thursday night. And we missed last week, so thanks for sticking with us through that. And here we are. We're back in the States, mate. We're back in the States, bruv.
What an intro.
And we're here on Behind Enemy Lines, your Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh, mate. How was that?
That started off really good. Towards the end, you got a little bit like the Crocodile Hunter, though. You got a little Australian.
I went a little Australian on it.
I think so. But no, that's pretty good.
See, I listen to a lot of, or watch a lot of Love Island, the British version. So me and my fiance, we got some pretty good English accents. We, in college, in fact, we had these trainers who were transfer students, like these athletic trainers. They were transfer students from the University of Dublin. So they were like from Ireland.
Yeah.
And I did my British impression, like in front of them, my British accent. And they were like, honestly, that's pretty good. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Like, you're a little chappy lad, ain't you?
Yeah. You're a little cheeky chappy, huh?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like, oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah, like in my head, I feel like I can do it, but I know if I tried to do it right now, it wouldn't be anything close. So I'm just not.
You'll just sound like Harry Potter. Go ahead, give it a try.
Nah, I'm just not going to do it on this program today.
Why not?
Maybe I'll do it in the break. Maybe I'll come back from the next break with that. So stick around to hear that.
I'll have Dom do an ad read in his British accent.
There we go.
Sounds good. Anyways, welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio. We missed last week because, as I mentioned, I was on a European vacation. Went to Germany, Paris, Switzerland. It was spectacular. Took a load off, and now we're back and ready to go just in time for the NBA playoffs heating up. NFL teams have their rookies in the building. And biggest of all, the WNBA season has started. And I think that's what Dom is hot and ready, like a Little Caesars pizza, to talk about in this first segment. Dom, I know you're fired up over Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. What's going on with the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever rivalry, huh?
You know, I don't really feel strongly either way. But like you said, it's a rivalry. It's a true rivalry, and it's brought something to this league, to this game of women's basketball. I didn't watch the game, but I've kept up with it on Twitter and stuff, which I think means something.
You know what?
It's captivating.
It is funny because it's coming up on Twitter, but one thing that didn't come up on Twitter as much is that it's maybe not as much of a rivalry as people make it seem, because the Fever won that game by like 30 points, I believe, over the Sky.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it was a competitive game, but it is. You can tell that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, and Caitlin Clark, she acts a little indifferent, but I think deep down she also hates Angel Reese. You can tell those two kind of despise each other, which it adds something. It's a Larry Bird, Magic Jordan type of thing. That was huge in getting the NBA popular. I think it's.
You mean Magic
similar.
Johnson?
What did I say?
Magic Jordan?
I love that guy. I love
Magic Jordan's got to be the best.
See, I was thinking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, he's pretty good, but Magic Jordan, I mean, that's
Dude, could you
different.
Imagine Magic Jordan?
Well,
that'd be insane.
He should have played for the Orlando Magic. Then he could have been.
That
Magic
name
Jordan
alone is like an all-time name, Magic Jordan.
Someone's got to be named that out there in the world. If you are, call into the show. We'd love to talk to you.
That's right. 216-859-8699. Let us know if your name is Magic Jordan. No, I agree, though. It is kind of like it just makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch. It's like a Steph LeBron type rivalry almost.
Except
or-
those two actually have respect for each other.
Yeah, I was going to say they have a lot more respect for each other. I don't think as many people around the league respect Angel Reese. And I think it is because like she is doing something for the league in terms of like getting them publicity, but like it's not for the right thing almost, I feel like, because like Caitlin Clark is obviously doing it for the right reasons because she's very exciting to watch. She's very, very good at basketball. She's changing the women's like the WNBA game, and she's bringing more viewers to it. And Angel Reese kind of is, but not like the viewers that they want almost. It's almost like it's the people on Twitter who want to see fights and
I'll
stuff
tell you
like
what
that.
the better comparison is. It's LeBron and Lance Stevenson. And,
Yes,
and that's
that
no
is
disrespect. That's no disrespect to Angel Reese, but that is the best comparison in modern.
That is a perfect what's that comparison? There we go.
Yeah, I mean she's
NBA
a pest.
Parallel.
She's a pest. It was like if Draymond, instead of loving LeBron, it's like if he hated LeBron. Because I think she's kind of comparable in that way. But
To
I
Draymond
think,
Green?
yeah, Draymond,
Yeah,
Magic
her and
Draymond.
have very similar styles.
Talking about Magic Green.
Magic Green.
But
What a spectacular name.
I think the discourse around this stuff is so much funnier because you can tell a lot of people don't care, but you know it's gotten like serious eyes on it. Like Dave Portnoy was there; he was getting into fights with people online. And then I don't know if you saw the Ryan Clark and RG3 beef while you were overseas.
I did not. I saw something about it today, like on Twitter. Ryan Clark posted something about his daughter, and I was like, "What the hell is going on? Give me a little breakdown on this beef."
So it was confusing. So I think RG3
Did it start from the Angel Reese thing?
Yeah.
The fact that Caitlin Clark hard fouled Angel Reese?
Yeah, that's exactly where it started. And then RG3, I guess he really likes Caitlin Clark or something, and he thinks that Angel Reese is, you know, like the villain in the WNBA. And Ryan Clark basically, he said that like he started saying stuff about like RG3's wife, who's a white woman, and basically saying that because he doesn't understand like what black women go through. It was just a crazy, you know, stretch of things, and it got out of control. And then it, like you said, it leads to this point where Ryan Clark's like posting about his biracial daughter. It's like, how did this start? How did we get to this point from Angel Reese fouling Caitlin Clark in a WNBA game?
Okay, I honestly thought it might have been worse. I just kept hearing that, like, oh, Ryan Clark said something about RG3's wife or whatever, and I didn't know anything about RG3's wife or, like, what she looks like or if they were still together or something. I thought he was just going to be like, yeah, well, guess what, RG3, you don't love your wife or some shit like that. All I heard was Ryan Clark made comments about RG3's wife, and I was like, about what? What happened? So I didn't know.
It was very strange. People got to read up on this because I can't even explain, because people, they just stretch this stuff way too far. The WNBA takes, it gets like people are very upset with like fans and stuff. And then like I go on Twitter and I see like tweets about Halliburton, like calling him like the Halliban. Like, this is insane. NBA Twitter is bizarre.
I did see that. NBA Twitter is a different breed. And I think that like WNBA Twitter is starting to get into that, and people who like aren't familiar with NBA Twitter, who like follow the WNBA, are just like so confused by the things they're seeing, because it's kind of like those two algorithms are starting to mesh. But yeah, I did see we're part of the Halliban tweet this week, talking about Tyrese Halliburton. And we can switch to that real quick. The Pacers are on like a generational run this postseason thus far. I saw a stat today from their X or Twitter account that all time in the NBA playoffs, teams that are down like 3-4 possessions, whatever it is, with 50 seconds or less left in the game are 4 and like 130 some. And it said three of those 4 wins are from the Pacers in this postseason run.
Wow.
Tyrese Halliburton is on some Patrick Mahomes demonic ritual shit. I
And
think
we
that's kind of what people are theorizing on the internet.
and we witnessed one of those three live on the air, I believe, when they were playing the Cavaliers. It broke
That's
your
right. If
heart.
you go back and listen to our last or 2 episodes ago, I did have to take a pause from the episode.
We had to cut that thing short. But yeah, the Pacers, they're heartbreakers. Halliburton hit him with the Reggie Miller choke last night in Madison Square
Yeah.
Garden. Pretty cold. I was against him this whole time. I thought he was dislikable. But last night, that was ice cold. It's kind of cool. It might be
It
destined.
was. And the fact that he they were down 2 and he was driving into the lane and then just turned around and went back to shoot a 3. His foot was on the line, right? And then it went to OT. But that's cold as hell.
Yeah.
And people on Twitter are trying to call him corny and stuff. And they're like, oh man, he's even cornier than Jason Tatum. I don't know how doing, like you said, he did a choke, the choke taunt that Reggie Miller did 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And your generational, your franchise is GOAT pretty much. You mimic the same thing in New York. How is that not, the fact that some people are trying to call that corny is just generational levels of hating, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's different because if Jason Tatum copied someone one time, it'd be all right, that wasn't too bad. But he's done it 5 times. If Halliburton does this multiple times in the playoffs, it's going to be okay, man, you got to get your own iconic moment.
But the other
this
thing
was cool.
too is the other thing too is he knew he was paying homage to he did it and then pointed directly at Reggie Miller.
That's
he was
true.
I'm doing your thing right now. Jason Tatum has kind of
he just straight plagiarizes.
He kind of does, and then but tries to make it his own. The thing after they won the championship where he's we did it. And it was what are you trying to be KG? But it wasn't because he tried
Switched
to do
it
his
up a
own
little
thing
bit.
and it just looks so stupid. And then took the picture Kobe in the locker room, and which I mean a lot of people have done the Kobe pic. They try to, mimic that Kobe pic of him in the shower with the championship, kind of not looking happy. And, a lot of people do it. And I still think it's kind of corny when anyone does it. So I think it's kind of playing homage, but still it is just corny. Whereas this was kind of original in the fact that, no one else does that. No one else tries to do the Reggie Miller. And he is a Pacers player. They're in New York. There's too many parallels to not be this is cold as hell.
Yeah, exactly. And even the Kobe thing, he kind of copied Michael Jordan, a similar thing in the locker room after he won the with the trophy, I'm saying. But yeah, I agree. There's levels to it. Jason Tatum, he tries to pass it off as his own. Halliburton was an homage. That's the best way to put it. And yeah, it was a really cool moment last night. The Knicks have been a fun team to watch, but they might be in trouble. The Pacers might be a team of destiny. They might have that evil magic, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think that, especially in the NBA, it's really, maybe I shouldn't say especially in the NBA because I think the NFL can kind of really get this in the playoffs because, it is single game elimination. But a lot of times, really in all sports, it's about getting hot at the right moment. And we've seen teams in the past, one thing that came up on my TikTok a couple days ago was talking about the 2019 Raptors. And it was that team, you really look back at it, they were not very good. They had Kawhi Leonard, who was playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah, he was unstoppable.
Probably, but they didn't really have anyone, which I mean, I think a lot of people know that and say that. But you look at that team, it's how the hell did they beat the Warriors? I understand that KD and Klay Thompson, I think, got hurt that year. But still, the Warriors were a really deep, really good team. The Raptors, whatever it was, they just got hot at the right time. And I think that the Pacers right now are as hot as any team in the NBA.
Well,
even hotter than the Thunder, who have been great all year, but they kind of are losing a little bit of steam. They went to 7 against the Nuggets, and don't get me wrong, the Nuggets are obviously very good, but I think the Pacers, it might just be their year. It might just be they're on the roll right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the Raptors comparison because Raptors did have some good players on that team. They had Lowry, who was playing really good that year. Van Fleet stepped up a lot in the playoffs. Pascal Siakam, I believe, was there for that run. That was a
Yeah.
good team. It
I mean,
wasn't. I don't think the Pacers. I mean, you got freaking T.J. McConnell as their sixth man.
T.J. McConnell's the man. Don't hate on the Dukes.
He's
a
still
Pittsburgh
balling.
man.
He's
a
still
Pittsburgh
balling.
guy. Look out for
But,
his younger sister, Meg McConnell, on the Phoenix Mercury right now. Speaking of WNBA,
Is she hooping yet?
I don't know. I think she got signed like after she didn't get drafted. So I don't know if she's even still on the team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe I just made that up. I don't know if there's like a practice squad in the WNBA or
G League.
how deep the rosters are. I don't think there's a G League in the WNBA, but either way, look out for her. She's a dog. I'm her number one fan, I think.
Go Dukes.
I want to say that, but I do
Dukes.
think there was a lot of really heavy Dukes followers that follow Duquesne women's basketball and maybe are bigger fans of her than I am.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't heard you talking too much about Duquesne basketball this year.
Well, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm done. I'm done watching them now if she's gone.
Well, she was there this past season.
Yeah, and she was balling. Did I not talk about her? I don't know. I probably didn't. But she's a dog. I've been trying to bet a little bit on WNBA because people say that it's easier to bet on. It's like a little more predictable, which I do think is like, I do think that's a valid statement. I think that like the best player in the WNBA, the gap between the best player in the WNBA and the worst player in the WNBA is probably wider than the gap between the best and worst players in the men's league. So I think that there is that disparity. I think I'm just the worst sports bettor of all time, Dom.
Can't get one, huh?
I cannot. I looked
one.
through my like DraftKings account. I think I've won like 4 bets over like 3 years. And it's not like I bet a lot. I'll probably do like 2 or 3 a month, if that.
But only 4.
But and in all honesty, I get a little ahead of my skis and I'm doing like 8-pick parlays and I'm like, oh my God, I was 1 pick off. But I cannot win a bet.
The parlays just never win. They're always bound to lose.
But then I'm like, I'm not going to straight bet for the Fever to win for $4. Like, I'm not doing that.
You just got to stack them up. You just got to get a few right, and then you can up it.
I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the patience to sports bet.
I'm the same way. If there, I get like, I'll wait for like a big, nice like deposit boost or maybe like a free bet. It's like over half a point. I'm like, yeah, that's free money. But I'm never withdrawing that free money. I'm going to keep it going. And sometimes, we'll go on here and there, but I'm the same way. A nice parlay. It's just too tempting. But they'll never win. They'll never ever win.
The instant gratification too just hits me because so often I'm like, I got $10 in here. Let's just throw it on blackjack. It's legal to bet in PA. It's legal to do the online casinos through like DraftKings and FanDuel. So I'm always like, I'll throw a couple on there.
Yeah, it's way too easy.
Hardly ever win. It's just so quickly gone. And I'm like, whatever. I had a good time.
I don't think I'm like a gambling addict, but with how easy it is, I can't imagine how it affects like actual addicts because it's just too simple to just open your phone and start gambling away.
It really is. I can't believe it, honestly, that it is legal. Like, it's crazy how much money people have probably given to these gambling sites just in the blink of an eye.
It's like, probably the same thing with like casinos. Like they just make constant money and they'll spend it and they'll keep getting people in. And for some reason, a lot of people don't see a problem with it. But I think one day the sports betting, it's just different when you can do it on your phone. And I think there's a lot of young people who are really getting hooked on it from an early age. And I don't know, like people like blame like Barstool a little bit for like, appealing to younger people and really,
they really
kind of endorsing gambling.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere now. I mean, even ESPN's doing it, so you can't really blame any specific.
Which company. I think that Barstool kind of has made ESPN get into it. Last 30 seconds of this segment, do you think that more money is made by casinos through online betting and things like that, or people who come into a casino?
That's interesting. I bet it's still in a casino.
You think so? I do feel like people are making bigger bets there, but maybe that's not always true because you do see Dave Portnoy be like, "Yeah, I put 25,000 on the Caitlin Clark over under." 216-859-8699. Let us know your thoughts on online gambling versus casino gambling. Behind Enemy Lines. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
Boy, welcome back to WSR Radio.
You're doing 100% Australian. Go ahead, keep going.
We're
going.
presented by Hatch's Honey. Take it away, Luke.
Oi, bro, first of all, Hatch's Honey is WSRR's new sponsor. Hatch's Honey is glad to be your source for delicious local raw honey. They have great spring and summer mixes plus blueberry, hot honey, cinnamon and more. Order online at hatcheshoney.com, bruv. Or visit the shop in person Saturdays under the pavilion at the Hartville Flea Market. I guess at the end that way.
Lovely.
I think that got Australian at the end too. But
I liked it though.
Hatch's Honey, great source of local raw honey for a delicious addition to your menu or a part of your healthy regimen. You can find Hatch's Honey on Facebook, Google, hatcheshoney.com, or email hatcheshoney@gmail.com directly. Hatch's Honey couldn't
be sweeter.
You know, like a bee.
Love that.
That's fire.
That's freaking clever.
That's a fire read right
That's freaking
there.
great.
That's
I
beautiful.
think that's $1 million read. I think they're just gonna hire you as their ambassador.
I'm going to have honey out the wazoo. They're going to send me so much honey, I'm not going to know what to do with it.
All my money's tied up in honey right now. What do I do?
You got some sticky cash.
Couldn't be sweeter.
Couldn't be sweeter. Dom, when I was in Paris, I went to the Eiffel Tower, and I was.
Could it be sweeter?
It couldn't be.
Could it have been sweeter?
Been sweeter. I was in Paris, and I was looking up at the Eiffel Tower, and I was cranking my neck back to look up at this huge steel structure. And I don't know what it was about it, but I think our Northeast Ohio crowd will like this. That I felt like I was at Cedar Point. I felt like I was at this attraction, this tourist attraction that is this very tall, tower of steel. And I felt like I was looking up at the Topdale Dragster. And I don't really what makes the Eiffel Tower better than the Top Thrill Dragster?
Well, the thing is, it's like the same thing as WWE. You kind of need to suspend your belief because one time that was the tallest building in the world. You got to kind of put yourself in the shoes of the people who saw that when it was first built and be like, yeah, it's pretty. Looking at the crazy.
Eiffel Tower is like WWE to you?
Yeah, because you really need to be like, all right, this isn't really cool.
Fuck?
This isn't actually cool.
I don't think there's any parallel.
This is cool, but if you can fake it enough, then you can be like, all right, I get it. That's what it is.
That's what makes the Eiffel Tower good?
Yeah. What do you think makes it good? Because really, you're exactly right. It's just a pile of like scrap metal, pretty much.
I thought it would I think it's like historic and like I guess
because
Jesus,
it was
Billy.
built a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't think that necessarily means I need to suspend my belief in anything to think about the fact that it's been here for hundreds of years.
But like that's why you don't think there's anything to it. It's like if like you're like, wow, could you imagine looking at this in like the 18 whatever when it first was built?
That was not what I thought, but I guess you're right. I mean, I think it's supposed to be like very pretty as well.
Is it though?
Now, that was my thing though about like, so we also went to the Louvre while we were in Paris.
Yeah,
right?
That's pretty cool.
And trigger warning for this this story that I'm about to tell. A British accent is about to come out in this story as well, because we haven't had enough of that in the
certainly not
in this episode. But like we're walking through the Louvre and I'm like saying to my fiance, I was like, so like really like the Mona Lisa is kind of just like important to art just because like it has clout around its name, right? Like it's not really like it's like a super hyper realistic painting of a woman like where the technique is like way, way better, or like it's some beautiful work of art where it's something that people haven't seen before. Like it's really just a picture of a lady.
Yeah,
right?
kind of. I mean, but like it's supposed to be like a very beautiful woman. I don't think she is.
Is she? She's kind of chopped.
I think she's.
Is she supposed to be fine shit?
I think she's low key cooked and chopped, and yeah, and her life's
And her
over.
life is over.
So yeah, I agree. But that's what they say. It's like, oh my god, she's so beautiful, the Mona Lisa. Oh my god, that's how they talk.
Yeah, but like, so I was like, all right, like even if the lady's beautiful, like it's still just a painting of a woman. Like
She's still cooked and chopped, and her
I don't
life's
know,
over.
like the thing that, yeah, I think she's chopped, but whatever. The thing that like really like, I guess there's lore behind it because like the Mona Lisa was stolen. It was painted by like one of the most painted by one of the most famous painters like of all
that's
time.
that's the
Da Vinci.
lore of it. It's his most famous work.
That's the lore. So whatever. First off, I walk into the room that has the Mona Lisa. There's all these signs throughout the entire Louvre, like, oh, Mona Lisa, this way. Like there's all these gorgeous works of art. There's statues, like just beautiful things. It's like, but we know you're here for the Mona Lisa, so you go this way for the Mona Lisa.
Did you have like a tour,
So
or
we
you just
go,
went
and
in
first
there?
off, no, we were
I love
freestyling it. We were just playing it off the cuff. First off, there's like a line to get into the room that has the Mona Lisa. It's like this big gallery room. And like there's a bunch of other paintings in there too. Like, you know, every other wall is like covered in tons of paintings. In the Mona Lisa room, there's just one big black wall in the middle of the room that has nothing else on it except for the Mona
And there's
Lisa.
like hundreds of people in
And
there,
I'm
right?
like, yeah. And I'm like, first off, what a flex for Da Vinci. Like just being like,
One
yeah,
room.
you guys all have to share a wall. This one's mine.
And it's like hot.
And I get one lady.
It's like
on it.
hot in there a little bit, right? From all the people.
Yeah. It was a little
Yeah.
muggy. It was a little muggy. And people like, it's not even a line to see it too. It was like literally just like kind of a mob of people. Like they looked like people kind of were like at the front stage of like a rock concert. Like it was just a mosh pit almost. People were a little more civilized than that, and everyone has their phones up trying to take pictures of it. And I'm kind of like, I'm not taking a picture of a painting from 50 feet away.
Yeah.
Like if I want to see the painting, I'll just look at it online, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. Like I saw it from like the back of the room and I was kind of like, okay, there it is. That's cool. Like whatever. Not to say I'm like nonchalant.
I think you're a
chill or,
nonchalant
like,
guy.
anything like that, but I think I might be. Maybe I was aura farming at the Louvre.
I thought you used to be chub perm, but now you're definitely nonchalant guy. Nonchalant kid.
I'm nonchalant guy.
I
100.
thought you might have been McLovin, but
whatever.
No, you're definitely nonchalant guy.
So I'm like, shout out MD Foodie
Yes, sir.
Boys. I was like, all right, like whatever. I see it. Like I'm kind of done now. And like all these people are trying to push and get like closer to it. This lady walks up to my left and she's like, oh my days. Pictures just do not do her justice. Look at the colors. Look at them. Harold, come over here. And she's like grabbing her husband by the arm. She's like, you must see this. I'm like, all right, lady, take it easy. It's just a painting of a lady.
No, I mean, I went there. I went to France last year. I saw it. I had a similar, different experience, I should say. I was like, I'm getting up to the front of this. It's like, I'm not just looking at this from 50 feet back. So I pushed and shoved my way to the front like it was a mosh pit, and I offended all the Europeans there. Like,
see, I wasn't gonna give Da Vinci the satisfaction of me glazing him like everyone else.
He's one of the greatest Italians, so I needed to pay some respect there.
That is true. Maybe I should have. What about Michelangelo? I think Michelangelo's better. Sistine Chapel. I'll take the Sistine Chapel over the Mona Lisa.
I'm more of a Raphael type of guy, but that's just me. Or Donatello.
Oh, I like Donatello. If we're talking TMNT, I like the bow staff and the purple on him. That looks good.
I'm more of a what's the rat's name? Splinter. He's pretty cool.
The rat. What's the rat's
The rat.
name? Yo, what's that rat's name, huh? But I feel like everyone's favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was always
Mikey.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, they're like, oh, Mikey's so sick and funny. No. If you had class, you like the purple or the blue one.
Yep. Yeah. Leonardo was a little too mainstream for me because, like,
blue.
He was the leader. He was a little too generic. Double swords, though, is pretty hard. I'm not going to lie. Double swords.
Yeah,
is
he had the best weapons. But Donatello's stick? Donatello's long stick?
Yeah. The bow staff?
Yeah, he had something going.
That is funny, too, because, like the stick from Donatello, the nunchucks from Michelangelo, the whatever those little things were from Raphael.
I thought Raphael, or no, actually you're right. Michelangelo did have the nunchucks. My bad. I apologize.
Yeah. Like all those are like obviously like kind of badass weapons, like whatever. Like you can do some damage with them for sure. And like whatever. And then Leonardo just has two deadly katanas that he can just quickly murder someone with. That doesn't seem like fair balance.
Yeah, it doesn't. He was definitely overpowered. Like if you were putting them up against each other.
And why does he have two of them too? Why doesn't he give one of them to one of the other guys? Like just here, take a fucking sword.
He knows they couldn't be trusted.
Yeah, no, I was like Donatello because I thought he was
wise.
He wasn't too mainstream like Michelangelo, where everyone loved him because he was a
pizza eating.
He's a party dude, as they say in the intro. But Leonardo was a little too like by the book,
and Ralph was too much of a hard ass.
Donatello. Yeah, Raph's doing his own thing.
Raphael,
cool Raph over there, trying to be all chill in his red with his what are those called?
What
are those little knife dagger
Yeah, that's
things?
a good question.
I know they have a name. It's gonna kill me until I think of it. But
those guys love pizza.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let me tell you, they love themselves a good slice of pizza. What would you do if you saw?
They would have loved.
What would you do if you saw some turtles with some pizza? Would you be like?
Probably.
Would you call the cops?
Probably share a slice.
If you saw like those turtles.
Oh, what the hell?
If you saw those turtles, life-size human turtles type walking on their feet, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're talking about.
Oh, I know what we're talking about.
Now, what would
buddy.
you do if you saw one of them?
I'd probably geek.
I'd probably run.
I would geek out, and I would ask for their No, I'm not doing anything wrong.
I'm scared though of some Teenage Mutant
they
Turtles.
Are pretty scary, especially in that like '90s movie version of them. They were like all green.
Their mouths were big as hell.
Weird looking. I thought they were hilarious.
Yeah, I think that was the best era
so
for them.
Funny. Definitely was. So they live in New York, right?
True. Facts.
Perfect segue. The New York Yankees are having an AJ Boom Fumo, as we call him on this show, not Big Boom AJ.
Take that.
A Costco guys night at Yankee Stadium. We thought that the Costco guys fell off too much, but apparently the Yankees are having a Costco guys night with Big Justice and AJ at Yankee Stadium, where the Rizzler may make an appearance. Dom, what do you think about the Costco guys having these like themed days at ballparks. And I remember Florida Atlantic, I think it was, in Boca Raton. They had a like Costco guys day for one of the games last year.
Yeah,
Their football.
I'm
game.
going to hold my breath here and wait to see what the Yankees have to say about all this because I don't know if it's an official Boom Fumo day. Let's just say that.
What? You think they just lied?
I think they got invited there, and they were like, "Yeah, you can come, maybe throw out a first pitch, but it's not like Boom Fumo Day at Yankee Stadium." Let's just say that.
I think it is.
No shot.
Why would they say that? They're not going to say that. And then
What did they
not
say?
No, they have integrity.
What did they say? They're like, "Yeah, we're gonna be at the Yankees game. It's gonna be the Rizzler might be there. It's gonna be awesome." They never were like, "It's the official Boom Fumo Day, 2025."
I thought they did. Maybe they didn't. I don't
Do you
know.
think they'll get invited back?
I thought it was a full branded day at Yankee Stadium.
But the thing is, it should just be the Rizzler because he's actually a New York guy. The Boom Fumos are Florida people.
I need to. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I don't understand why they have.
Why the
this-
Yankees love him so much?
I never understood that. Why do they have this like connection with New York and New Jersey? They live in Florida.
They got like they got like cousin Angelo. He's like probably from New Jersey. Yeah, they just got a special connection to this region, even though they're straight up in Boca Raton. But this should be something that's happening at like a Marlins game, not the Yankees. But I hope it doesn't curse them.
They said in their TikTok, it's AJ and Big Justice night at Yankee Stadium on August 8th.
I gotta do some research on this. AJ,
it's their branded night. They're probably going to be giving out Costco hot dogs and chicken bakes.
but there's no information on this at all outside of their TikTok. Like the Yankees,
What more do
I
you
need the Yankees to have like a graphic on Twitter. You know, like if you show up, you can get a Rizzler bobblehead. Riz Bob.
Rizbob. A Rizbob head would make me fly. I would be able to drive. Would make me drive to New York in an
Let me look at the Yankees promotional schedule. What day did they say this thing's
Okay,
in?
August 8th. That's the day it's supposed to be on. I just think it's
Wow.
hilarious, like how baseball is supposed to be like America's pastime, and it's kind of supposed to be like a sacred sport with like tradition and like, you know, it's like the oldest like I said, it's America's pastime. And now they're just like pitch clock, games have to be fast.
Boom Fumo Day.
Like just there's Boom Fumo Day at the Yankees
What are we
Stadium.
doing?
It's just hilarious. Like there's no integrity in baseball.
So the
anymore.
Yankees actually have some pretty cool promotional nights upcoming June 6th. If any of our listeners can get out there, there's a Yogi Berra U.S. Navy bobblehead night. It's a Yogi Berra dressed up as a Navy officer, so that's pretty sick. And then
Whoa, Stolen
I
Valor?
think so. Maybe he was in the Navy.
What?
I hope he was in the Navy.
He probably was. I doubt they would do that. I doubt they would do that where they have a Yankees legend dress up as a military official without actually.
That would be
having
kind of
been
wild.
one.
And then June 20th, they got Aaron Judge Superman bobblehead night. Kind of cool. Kind of liking it.
Oh wait, Aaron Judge dressed
Yeah,
up as Superman.
he's like
again Stolen Valor. But
yeah,
all
but he's
right.
like open up his jersey for the S. It's kind of cool. Kind of like it. July.
He doesn't even have an S in his name. That's stupid.
July.
Superman has an S on his chest because his name starts with an
Yeah,
S.
but Aaron Judge is like a Superman. So,
No.
anyways, July 11th, you got
No.
Billy Joel bobblehead night. Him on a piano, kind of tight. But you said this AJ and Big Justice night. You said it was August 9th.
August 8th.
There's nothing on August
when the
8th on this
shindigs
promotional
go down.
calendar. On August 9th, you have Old Timers Day. Oh,
They're just claiming it themselves as AJ and Big Justice night.
we might need to get out on August 21st, though. Seinfeld night. George Costanza sleeping under his desk bobblehead.
Yeah, I did. I have
No
seen
pictures of that.
and I am a big fan of that. Speaking of the Seinfeld universe, did you see that? We can go back to the Pacers and Knicks game. Did you see that Larry David was at
Yeah.
the Knicks game with Susie from Curb Your Enthusiasm just makes the easiest episode. The episode writes itself.
Yeah, it's a
really.
shame it was over because they did have something there. I think it was the edits were good on there. Putting the song at the end. Yeah, Larry David. He's the gift that keeps on giving even after he's done making the shows.
Yeah, really. I saw one tweet that was like, supposed to be in Susie's voice, and it was like, he was pointing at you when he did the choke thing because you wouldn't shut up, you stupid bald fuck. And if you haven't watched Curb Your Enthusiasm and you don't know what the hell we're talking about, you should. It's a great show. But yeah, that episode just writes itself. Truly.
It does. And I think Susie, great seeing her there because you do see Larry David a lot of stuff, and she is one of the best characters. Might be the best character on that show.
Yeah, and she's hilarious. I don't think she doesn't get her flowers for being, as funny of an actress as she is in that show. She really brings it together in a way that not many other people could do. 216-859-8699. Send us in your screenplays for that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Tyrese Halliburton hits a dagger in MSG on the Knicks, and it's somehow Larry David's fault. Be right back on Behind Enemy Lines.
Did you know that eating natural honey can help with your seasonal allergies? Hatch's Honey is glad to be your source for delicious, local, raw honey. With great spring and summer mixes plus blueberry, hot, cinnamon, and more, you can order online today at hatcheshoney.com or stop by in person at the Hartville Flea Market Pavilion on Saturdays or Thursdays at the Talmadge Farmers Market. For more information or to order online, visit hatcheshoney.com today. Hatch's Honey, healthy and delicious.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Welcome back to the American show Behind Enemy Lines. Not British at all. We don't do British accents here, especially not for our ad reads for SynergyMusicStudio.com. Based out of Chicago, Synergy Music Studio offers a diverse array of musical services specifically crafted to meet their clients' needs, from recording to mixing and production. Discover how they can bring your vision to life at SynergyMusicStudio.com. Even if you're not in Chicago, Synergy can get your music, radio, or album ready through their reamping service. Recorded audio tracks are sent back through amplifiers and re-recorded, allowing for adjustments to tone and sound characteristics. This process helps to achieve the desired sonic texture and enhances the overall quality of the music production. SynergyMusicStudios.com. Check them out for all your mixing, mastering needs. Dom, the NFL votes took place this week, correct? And there were some rule changes and some rule not changes, I guess, some not outlaws. And one of the headlines was that the tush push survives for another year, 2 votes short of outlawing it. I think we've talked about this on this show before, but we can revisit it. What do you think about this, and how does this, change the characteristics and the what's the word I'm looking for? The culture maybe of the game.
Yeah. We definitely have talked about this before, but I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think it makes the game more boring. If I was an owner, I'd probably vote for banning it. But at the same time, I understand why it's kind of tough to ban this, because if the play works, there should be a way to stop it on the defensive side. It's not like it's foolproof. You've seen defenses stop it before. Just because the Eagles have perfected it doesn't mean we have to go ahead and just ban this play that, it's still football type of play, but it's boring. It's boring, and it takes away a little bit from the excitement of the game. That's my biggest critique of the tush push.
Yeah, I do think it takes away from the excitement. I saw a TikTok, and for a while, I kind of was for the tush push in the way that, like, it is a football play. If you want to stop it, find a way to stop it, be bigger and stronger. It's kind of a culture type play that I like to say, where at the end of the day, like I said, football is about who's bigger and stronger, and, who can just be a tougher person sometimes. And, either I'm going to push you back or you're going to push me back, and it's going to be decided right here. But I did see a TikTok from Theo Ash. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He is a really good TikToker who makes some like film breakdowns. He does like a lot of stuff about the NFL. I think he's a really, really good NFL TikToker. Like, he really knows what he's talking about. He knows the game pretty well. And he did say something about like the sanctity of the NFL, basically, like the idea around it, around football itself, is that one person can advance the ball pretty much. Like, obviously it's a team game. There are 10 other guys blocking for him or other guys running routes and whatever. But like, the guy who's running the ball needs to advance it himself. There's things on defense where like defensive players can't help each other out pretty much. And it's kind of just like not the same standards aren't held up on offense that they are on defense. And I understand that it's an offensive game, and like, honestly, the NFL wants there to be offense. It'll be more exciting for people to watch and things like that. But I agree with you that this doesn't make it more exciting. It makes it more predictable, less interesting. And yeah, I agree with your take 100%.
So here are the 10 teams that apparently saved the tush push by voting against this proposal. The Eagles, obviously, your Cleveland Browns, another AFC North team, the Baltimore Ravens, Detroit Lions, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miami Dolphins, New England Patriots, New Orleans Saints, New York Jets, Tennessee Titans. Are there any of these teams that surprised you that they wanted to keep the tush push in the game?
At first I was going to say there's a lot of like traditional NFL ground and pound type teams that have that type of culture around them. Then you said the Dolphins, and that one I was like, all right, well, never mind. That takes out the window because Mike McDaniel is very, I think that he's kind of cutting edge and like is trying to do things differently in a way that no one else does in the NFL on offense. So maybe that's kind of why his support is for it, because again, it is a team that, like, they're doing things different than people have done it in the past, and it's kind of finding a little bit of a loophole. But
yeah, if they did something like this in the future, he wouldn't want it to get shut down just because they're successful at it, just because they found something that they could.
I could see
with.
Mike McDaniel being like, "All right, well, we can use this to our thing and our advantage, and let's see how we can mix it up and put my own little fun spin on it, where guys are coming in motion and using speed and doing a lot of different stuff off of it." And I think that is the next evolution of it. I think that once people are going to start to stop it a little bit, like, then we're going to start seeing like a little play action pass off of it. And I think that sometimes the Browns have tried to do that. They did a lot with Jameis Winston last year, and sometimes I think they try to get too fancy with it, and that's because they are a bad team and maybe don't have as much culture as the Eagles have. Obviously, they don't have as hard-nosed and strong of a culture up front, and you can see it in little moments like that. But Dom, there were some other changes in the NFL votes. I know one thing is they're pretty much doing an offensive lineman of the year. Is there anything else that jumped off the page to you during these NFL votes?
Well, they made a rule change for the onside kick, and one that I wasn't, I was kind of made aware of this before onside kicks had to be only in the fourth quarter. I know that was like a recent thing. I don't know if it was just last year, but now you can do an onside kick at any time in the game, but the team that declares an onside kick needs to be trailing in the game to be doing it.
Why? Why do they? That's stupid. Why should it only? Why in the first place did they ever do only in the fourth quarter? I mean, you already have to tell them that you're going to onside kick it. There's no surprise onside kicks because of the new dynamic kickoff that started last year. So, like, you already have to declare that you're doing it.
Yeah.
And now you have to be trailing as well. Like, I think that
Well,
kind of
actually,
takes the excitement out of the game.
Actually, I was wrong. That part of the rule is not changing. The only part that changes is that they can do it in any quarter.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess.
But
that's a
yeah, I
step in the
agree
right
with what you're
direction.
saying. Yeah, I think they're starting to get back. But why'd they, like you said, why'd they do that in the first place? I think it's a little weird. But onside kicks, just a lot of kickoff stuff in general is boring, and they've changed the rules too much. I feel like I hate like feeling like an old man, but like the new kickoff stinks. Onside kicks are more boring than ever. And another part of this new policy is that the onside kick will be from the 34-yard line instead of the 35-yard line. What's 1 yard doing?
1 yard difference going to make? I thought you were going to say like it's going to be at the 45 instead of the 30. Why do that? What difference does that make?
There's no explanation in this article that I'm reading. So NFL still continuing to do weird stuff with special teams. But I think the biggest news, might have been bigger than the tush push news, is that NFL players can now compete in the Olympics, in the flag football games, in the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. I'm excited about that. Lucas, how are you feeling about it?
Do you think, like, is there really anyone in the NFL who's like dying to play flag football in the Olympics?
I think all these
Like,
guys a lot of the stars are into it right now. Like Tyreek Hill will play for sure.
I think that, will he? I mean, it'll be in 3 years. Will he? I mean,
Yeah,
he's
that's a
already
good
pretty
point.
old, honestly.
It's a fair
Which
point.
it is funny because when I first think of NFL stars playing flag football, I kind of do think of Tyreek Hill just like by default is like, you know, one of the fastest and most electric players. But
He'll be like
I don't
35.
even, you know, like I said, he'll be, it'll
Probably
be in
like
3 years. So,
Like Jaden Daniels.
but
Hopefully we get some international stars maybe in the future. I don't know
think
who
it
else
will
can
be
compete.
Jaden. I don't think it will be Jaden Daniels because like I don't think having a running quarterback will really help you. It'll be someone who can sit back and sling it around. I don't know who the best arm in the league is. Joe Burrow. Maybe like that's the other thing too is who's going to decide like imagine the uproar if the NFL stars like they pick one quarterback and he throws 4 picks and they lose the gold medal.
Yeah.
Like
It would be worse than if US basketball lost, I think.
yeah, it would be worse than like losing the Super Bowl. Like it would be like what? Yeah. No, it would be a bigger upset though than if US basketball lost. That would be insane. Like we're the only country with football. The fact if it was even close in flag football, it would kind of be a disgrace. Thank you guys for listening to Behind Enemy Lines. We'll talk a little bit more about this next week. Tune in right here on WSRR Radio.
Peace.
The preceding program was a sponsored production. The views, claims, and ideas expressed may not represent those of WSRR Radio.